How did Alexis Sanchez go from the best player in the league, Arsenal's core player, he was the best player, it's the only reason they were competing for anything, to in 2 years being on 500 grand a week on the bench and just being an absolute problem for Manchester United? Today we're going to talk about that in this video, and also just his whole career, to be honest with you. Like, subscribe, and we'll get into it. Now, Alexis Sanchez has had a really good career. You know, he's won the Serie A, he's won the FA Cup, he's won the Europa League, he's won a lot of trophies, and he's done a lot of things in his career. But his career will always be just like a sour taste in his mouth for everyone, because he's not loved by one fan base. I mean, of course, the Chilean fan base, but he's not loved by a fan base. Manchester United fans don't like him, Arsenal fans don't like him, Barcelona fans don't really care because they have a lot of good talent. But Alexis Sanchez has still had a good career. You know, he started his career at Coca-Cola. You know, that is a Chilean club, for people who know. You know, he made his first team appearance at 16 and showcased a lot of talent. You know, this is really when, you know, he burst onto the scene, scoring 12 goals in 32 appearances, which is not bad for a young talent. He was only there for a year. You know, Udinese picked them up in 2006. You know, he joined there and established himself in the Serie A. You know, Alexis Sanchez has had a lot of good things in the Serie A happen to him. He's really been really good there. You know, he scored 21 goals in 112 appearances and just gained a reputation, you know, for being this explosive winger with pace and dribbling skills and versatility. You know, Sanchez could play across the whole line. You know, I know for people who play FIFA, you know, he's had a right wing, left wing, and a striker card. You know, he can play it all across them. And then, you know, he made his big move to Barcelona in 2011. But here's the thing about Sanchez's time at Barcelona. He was joined by Messi, Iniesta, Neymar, all of these people. And he was at Barcelona at a time where they didn't really win everything, you know. It was, things were sort of gelling together, and he wasn't a first team starter, you know. He was not. He was a bit like Isco at Real Madrid, you know. He was not really being the best that he could be, you know. But he still won a La Liga and a UEFA Super Cup, you know. He scored 39 goals in 88 appearances, but Barcelona fans don't really care. You know, Barcelona fans have had Messi, Neymar, Suarez, you know, they had all these sort of players at that time, so why would they care about Sanchez? You know, he still didn't hit his prime. So they sold him to Arsenal in 2014, and this, I mean, he didn't really hit his stride in the beginning. Of course, Sanchez has always been great for Arsenal, you know, he's been absolutely beautiful to watch, you know, he's such an explosive player, you know, he was truly beloved by Arsenal. But in like the first 2 years, from 2014 to 2016, I would say he was good. He was of course good, but he wasn't really like the best player in the league, you know. He was not that, but of course he was beloved because he has work rate and goal scoring ability, you know. He scored 80 goals in 166 appearances for a guy who's not supposed to be the striker, you know. It is amazing to watch, and he did win 2 FA Cups for us. But Sanchez in 2016-17 is the best player I've ever seen in an Arsenal shirt, personally. He was absolutely immaculate, he was amazing, he was so good. And yeah, he was the best player in the league and became 5th, you know. But Sanchez is absolutely amazing, you know. He was beloved by Arsenal fans, people loved his dogs, he was absolutely amazing for the club. But then the contract dispute starts because him and Ozil had 2 years left on their contract, both of them. And then City came in for him in the 2017 summer window for what, 60-70 million pounds, and Arsenal rejected it. And during that 6-month period to the window, you know, he was not showing up to games. He didn't show up to a Liverpool game, I remember that. you know, he was being a bit of a bitch ass, if you get what I mean. He was being a bit salty, and you know, he was on the bench a lot, and you know, his attitude wasn't at the club. So, and then Ozil got the contract because Arsenal could not get both of them to sign a big fat 200k contract, you know. So in the winter, in 2018 the winter, he was getting to the last 1 year on his contract, so we had to do something about it, and Arsenal did. I hate the deal, you know. They switched him for Mkhitaryan to Manchester United because Manchester United really waved that big contract dough in front of him, because Sanchez was on 500k. He was on 500k for Manchester United, you know. It was absolutely huge deal. It was an amazing deal for Manchester United. They've swooped in, got Arsenal's biggest player for a bench player. Well, Mkhitaryan wasn't a bench player, but you know what I mean? Mkhitaryan can't lace Sanchez's boots at that time. You know, Sanchez was Arsenal's best player. So, but this made him not beloved by Arsenal fans, you know, because the way he switched from the club, he didn't show the club any love, you know. He didn't like, oh yeah, I'll sign a little deal so you can get money from me, you know. He didn't care about the club in any way, shape or form. That's why Arsenal didn't like it. But in Manchester United, Sanchez, you know, he's always talked about it. He hated the switch, you know. It was, his mental side was gone because he hated the switch because he loved Arsenal. He said this time and time again. He's absolutely loved Arsenal, and since that 2016-17 season, you've never seen anything from Sanchez, you know. He has not been close to that good. You know, he was inconsistent, you know, injuries, and he really struggled to do his previous form. You know, he scored 5 goals in 45 appearances. That's absolutely nothing to a goal every second game that he did at Arsenal, you know. And this made him go on loan. He was a 500k player, and he went on loan to Inter Milan. Now, his time at Inter Milan is something, because yes, him at Inter Milan is Marseille. I'm gonna put him in both because it's the same thing. Because Sanchez is he's always really good. You know, Sanchez has an amazing skill, and he's still got a little bit of form and confidence back, but his heart is really not in the game. You can see it on his appearances. Yes, he won the Serie A title, which is amazing to add to his trophy cabinet, you know. But you know, he's never been able to get that 2016-17 Sanchez back. Now, I think it can be because he was a very explosive player, which means that, you know, you sort of lose that much earlier, which Erling Haaland will do as well. Now, Sanchez's international career, you know, he won the Copa America and the FIFA World Cup in 2015 and 16, and Sanchez still plays to this day in the Champions League with Marseille, and probably living his best life in France. But Sanchez's career will always be greed, and he was also never loved by the club. Now, when Sanchez retires, no club that he has been on will he be truly beloved by his fans. That was it for the video. Goodbye.